This is going to be a very different sort of video from anything I have done thus far, although it may become a regular part of what I'm doing here. More of a behind-the-scenes peek. It could be that it's only of interest maybe to other musicians, or that maybe a lot of people would want to know what goes on behind the scenes when you're not putting on the show, when you're learning to play a new piece but you don't really have it down yet, and what goes into getting good. I don't know if that interests anybody or if I'm just going off on a tangent, so enjoy if you find it fascinating, and yeah. Anyway, so I was recently introduced to this song called Get Along by Kenny Chesney, and I fell in love with the song and kind of the spirit of what it has to say. So I decided that was going to be the next one I was going to work on learning how to play. I'll have all kinds of links in the description for you. There's the link to the actual video, the link to the one with the lyrics attached to it, the link to the tutorial that I used in my attempts to learn to play the piece, and things of that nature. I happen to be temporarily stuck between traveling. I have recently purchased a motorhome, which is going to make things much better, but it needs a small amount of minor work, and the weather where I am at the moment is just a little too cold and hostile for that to be possible, so I am temporarily waylaid, and this gives me a lot more opportunity to be working on a new piece, putting in the practice hours, because I clearly can't go outside and play in this kind of mess, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't need the music. So having a purpose and a target to the music is very beneficial. And so I targeted this song, and I do not have the song down yet. I've got the chord progressions for the verses and the beginning of the chorus. The problem is that when you're working on the chord progressions, it makes it difficult to simultaneously reach for the lyrics in your mind and get the right words to come out with the right tune at the right time with where the fingers go. So the way I have usually done this in the past is I just work on the fingers and the strumming first. You know, fingers come first, then strumming, then melody, and you just kind of da-da-da-da-da, whatever the tune is, without worrying about what the words are. And when you can do that and be playing it, then you start introducing the words. And every time you bring in a new aspect, it somehow introduces more of a stumble to the things that you already had down. You have to start over again a little more slowly. And so as a result, while I do have the chord progressions down, I'm still playing much more slowly than it actually goes. And the chorus is particularly tricky, at least to my mind, as far as the lyrics go, because it is such a plethora of random, unrelated things that are unconnected, and so trying to remember all of those things and in the proper order has been yet another unforeseen difficulty in this particular thing. Also, of course, the song was written on and for guitar, so the fingering and whatnot on the ukulele, particularly with this tutorial, I really like that alternative fingering that he does, even though it's more difficult. And I have found that it is tremendously abusive on my pinky, and so I cannot put the amount of hours in every day that I need to on this particular song. So I've been working on playing my regular stuff and working on honing that for like 2 days in a row, and then I'll give this piece a day, where this is all I do, is that one piece over and over and over again. And then the next 2 days, I can't even try to do that piece again, so I take 2 days of playing my standards and honing and developing those, because on Rainbow Connection, I still have a problem with one chord, and on Country Roads, I still have a problem with one chord. So I haven't recorded either of those yet, because I'm very much wanting to have it down pat before I record it. Which is what makes this so unusual, because this I do not have down pat, and I am very slow, And I'm sharing this with you because I don't have any idea why. I just thought maybe it would be a thing to do or show. And see if I can adjust this to get the uke in the shot all right and not have that fall off. That would be bad. Okay, so this is a very difficult fingering. It's like the G chord in that it's these two, but then the pinky stretches all the way down here to the 5th fret, and that's what makes it rough on the pinky. There's a number of chord progressions, but the pinky stays there throughout almost all of them. So it's got to stay nailed down, and that's difficult when you have to do a reach with the ring finger across to put it there. Ow. So yeah, that's why this only gets like every 3rd day. This is where it gets hard, and this is what you don't see when people are putting on a show. Can't always give up the upper hand. Ain't along, learn to dance. Call your mom, buy a boat, drink a beer, sing a song, make a friend. Can't we all get along? Anyway, so yeah, I'm still stumbling through it. I'm playing it slower than it goes, but I'm having a great deal of fun with it, and I really wanted to make sure to include the link to that tutorial that has gotten me this far. The fact that I don't have it yet doesn't mean it's not a good tutorial by any means. As a matter of fact, I think I sat and watched it through maybe up to 10 times before I even picked up the uke and began to attempt to get my fingers to try to play along. And it has been a long few weeks since then, and while I am getting ahead, I still got a ways to go. But I think that maybe given another month or two of persistent working on it, as well as building up that callus right here on the side of my pinky finger, because it just keeps rolling. I can't quite put it all the way straight down because of the way the fingers have to stretch, so the pinky winds up being kind of rolled over sideways instead of standing up here on its tippy toe, and that is causing a great deal of discomfort and blistering that will one day become a callus. And that's going to allow me to finally devote the more hours of repetition to that piece without it abusing me and raising my pain levels in any way. Anyway, that's what I had to say, what I wanted to show and share. It's not all as easy as it looks in the final take, I think, is maybe the point of it. And that it doesn't really take any musical talent in order to play music. The only thing it takes is being stubborn. And as long as you know that, you'll do all right. Have a great day.